Sean Connery's little secret, London's big lie, a Nobel winner's deadly legacy, and many more shockers in today's episode of The Twisted Quest. Skip this video, and you may never know what you don't know. Let's get started.
10.
The name's Bond, James Bond, and stop staring at my hair. Well, no James Bond ever uttered that second line, but Sean Connery, the original 007, might have come close to saying it a few times. You see, Connery secretly wore a toupee in all his Bond films due to hair loss, which began in his early 20s. Despite his dashing persona, Connery's premature balding was a concern for producers, so he agreed to wear a hairpiece to maintain Bond's signature look. Thankfully, his toupee, his secret weapon, so to speak, stayed perfectly in place, even during action scenes. You could say it bonded well with his scalp.
9.
It's common knowledge that mammals don't lay eggs. They give birth to live young ones, whom they nurture with milk. Well, there's an exception to every rule, and this one has two: the platypus and the echidna. These two mammals, both classified as monotremes, do lay eggs. However, unlike other mammals, they lack nipples and instead secrete milk through skin pores, which their hatchlings lap up. Exceptional mammals in more ways than one, don't you think?
8.
Need to know something? Just back rub it. Sounds weird, doesn't it? But back rub was exactly what Google was called in its early days. In 1996, Larry Page and Sergey Brin developed a search engine that ranked websites based on their backlinks, analyzing how pages linked to each other to determine relevance. The name back rub reflected this process, but let's be honest, it sounded more like a massage service than a tech innovation. By 1998, they wisely rebranded Backrub to Google, and thus the internet's favorite search engine was born.
7.
If you think Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore spent way too long on the International Space Station, get this: Valery Polyakov of the former Soviet Union holds the record for the longest continuous spaceflight, spending 437 days and 18 hours aboard the Mir space station in the 1990s. A medical doctor, he volunteered to study the effects of long-duration space travel on the human body. During his stay, he completed over 7,000 orbits of Earth and demonstrated that humans could endure extended space missions without severe health consequences.
6.
Everyone who visits London goes to see the Big Ben. Only this iconic clock tower is not the Big Ben. This tower was originally called the Clock Tower, but in 2012, it was renamed Elizabeth Tower to honor Queen Elizabeth II's Diamond Jubilee. So then, what is the Big Ben? Well, Big Ben is actually the name of the Great Bell inside the tower, which weighs 13.5 tons and chimes every hour. So you may have heard the Big Ben, but never really seen or photographed it. Disappointed? Don't be. Despite the widespread misconception, Big Ben remains one of the most recognizable symbols of London.
5.
Where was denim jeans invented? If you think it was America, you're off the mark by at least 5,000 miles. You see, jeans trace their origins to Genoa, Italy, where a sturdy cotton fabric was first produced and dyed indigo blue. The material, known as blue of Genoa, was used for sails, work clothes, and protective coverings. By the 1800s, jeans made their way to America, where Levi Strauss and Jacob Davis patented the riveted blue jeans in 1873. Today, jeans are a global fashion staple, proving that Genoa's fabric truly conquered the world.
4.
Who doesn't know J.K. Rowling and her Harry Potter series of fantasy novels? But have you heard of Robert Galbraith? If not, you might be surprised to learn that this mystery writer is none other than Rowling herself. She has published several crime fiction novels under this pseudonym, including The Cuckoo's Calling, The Silkworm, Career of Evil, and more. Rowling's secret was exposed in 2013 when a lawyer leaked her identity. Despite the revelation, she continues to write gripping detective stories under the name Robert Galbraith.
3.
The word Starbucks evokes images of affluent people socializing over endless cups of expensive coffee in a warmly lit cafe. But did you know that the brand name Starbucks was inspired by Starbuck, the first mate of the whaling ship Pequod in Herman Melville's novel Moby Dick? The name was meant to evoke the romance of the high seas and the seafaring tradition of early coffee traders. However, one can scarcely imagine Starbuck or his rum-guzzling, whale-hunting fellow sailors of the early 19th century making polite conversation over fine coffee. But hey, branding works in mysterious ways.
2.
Did you know that the ampersand was considered the 27th letter of the English alphabet until the late 19th century? The name ampersand comes from the phrase "and per se and," meaning "and" by itself is the word "and." School children reciting the alphabet would say X, Y, Z, and per se and, which eventually slurred into ampersand. While the symbol itself dates back to ancient Rome, the ampersand continues to be widely used today in branding, typography, and shorthand writing.
1.
Marie Curie made remarkable contributions to science, but they came at a tremendous personal cost. Curie, the first person to win 2 Nobel Prizes, was so exposed to radiation during her work with radium and polonium that it is believed to have caused her death at age 66. Her body had to be buried in a lead-lined coffin, and even her personal belongings, including her notebooks, clothes, and furniture, remained radioactive nearly a century after her death. Talk about dedicating one's life to science. Which of these facts completely blew your mind? Drop a comment below. And if you're still hungry for more, check out this next video. It'll knock your socks off. But before that, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an episode of The Twisted Quest. Stay curious, stay inspired.